Welcome to the Cock Show, brought to you by the Purple Rain Podcast, where we are straight back into it. As you guys know, if you watched the last episode, we did find out Germany and Switzerland's roster on the exact same day, at pretty much the same time. So, we are doing this back, so we are calling Germany and Switzerland back to back, and they're going to be published back to back. So you're going to get those immediately. Yeah. So, like Germany, Switzerland also has had to rely on elsewhere because there isn't really that much representation in the PHL for Switzerland. And in fact, there are currently 2 Swiss players who got on opening night rosters in the PHL. And we're going to go through, and we are going to go through those. Okay, so we're going to, and then we'll obviously, yeah, so what we have been kind of looking it up the other week over this last couple of roster videos. Yeah, here, how many players from each nation are in. And it's been quite fascinating, particularly with these last few. It's been very fascinating indeed. Yep. So, should we get to it? Yeah. Right, so let's go straight into it. So let's go through Switzerland's roster now, and we'll talk more detail. So, as always, we start in the 4 positions. So we have Leonie Balzer, 19, HC Davos Ladies. Rebel Enzela, 25, EBZ Women's Team. Naomi Herzing, 18, Holy Cross University. Don't go all bicker dippy on me, please. Just do not do it. Don't. I know, I resign to the fact I'm going to hell, but please, you just not piss the Lord off even more. Just don't do it. Linda Lehmann, 23, SC Bern Fruan. Lena Marie Luz, 24, HC Amri Theatre Women. Alina Marti, 21, EBZ Women's Team. Alina Muller, 27, Boston Fleet. Kaylee Quinnick, 27, SC Bern Fruan. Nomi Wright Heiner, 25, LBZ Women's Team. Vanessa Shearer, 20, University of British Columbia. Lara Stadda, 31, EBZ Women's Team. Ivana Way, 19, EBZ Women's Team. Laura Zimanola, 22, St. Cloud State University. And let's not go on to the defenders. Alicia Bohola, 20, Northeastern University. Anik Busi, 20, EBZ Women's Team. Lara Kristen, 23, SC Bern Fruan. Laura Maghill, 17. 17! Oh, here we go again. You didn't hark at the 19-year-olds. 18 of Bob's Pride. We've got priorities now, have we? We've got priorities now on the 8th episode, have we? We've got priorities now on the 8th roster show. Shannon Segrist, 26, ZSC Lions Fruam. Nicole Ballerino, 24, New York Sirens. Stephanie Welterly, 25, SC Bird Fruam. And then finally, net minors. Andrea Brandley, 28, Fulcada HC. Saskia Nora, 24, SC Bird Fruam. Monia Wagner, 22, Union College, and then their head coach is Colin Muller. Okay, interesting roster. I think it's a really good roster. They've got a good variety of prospects from different programs. It's not like we saw on Germany where one program stood out in particular, and that's where the lion's share, the bulk of the roster, whatever connotation you want to use. Yeah. So it's a very well-rounded roster. I'm surprised about Switzerland. I don't know what I was expecting from Switzerland. Yeah, especially how this one likes to slag them off. Right. You've not been kind to Switzerland. No, you've not. And yet, they have managed to compete with the best of the best. I want you to pull their record up, George. Okay. And then I'll talk to Lena Mother. Okay. Pull the record up. Okay. Doing that now. So, give me 2 seconds to do that. So, we know Switzerland are in Group A. Switzerland. Okay. So, they've appeared in every Olympics since 2006. Ooh! So, they've only missed 2 Olympics. Yeah, 1998, 2002. That's impressive. So, to 2006, in Torino, they finished in 7th place. In 2010, Vancouver, they finished in 5th place. 2014, of course, was that infamous bronze medal in Sochi. Remember that? 2018, Pyeongchang finished in 5th place. And then most recently, in the last Olympics, they came 4th. Right! They were in the bronze medal match in the last Olympics. That serves you right. Then we look at World Championships from since 2010, so this is my bobble with the women's game. They haven't actually done that badly, actually. They won the bronze in 2012. They've never been relegated. No. They've never been relegated. And actually, the last since 2021, right? So since 2021's World Champ. Actually, no. We go back to 2019. So since 2019, Switzerland have finished either 5th or 4th in the World Championships. He's not feeling lucky now, is he? He's not feeling lucky now. So I don't know why you just have a go at Switzerland when they actually have been able to compete with the best of the best. I know. Seriously, Pluto, what have Switzerland done to hurt you? What, you mean apart from kill your love for Eurovision? We can't blame it on the Swiss! They never said anything political! Or instead, well, they didn't do anything to stop it, did they? Okay, so apart from Politics Vision Barcel 2025, apart from that, you know I loved Zoe Me last year. You know I loved her. Honestly, Europe, get music taste. God's sake. Now, I just don't get why. Okay, I can understand why they're in the top division, but I don't get why they're put in the same group as the US and Canada when they just can't compete. And remind me, more of you, how many goals did Switzerland score in the group stage in Prague? 1 goal. I don't think they can hear you in Wales. 1 goal! Thank you. 1 goal. That's all. That is all they got in the group stages in Prague. Yeah, but then somehow pulling out the bag in the 5th place match against Sweden. But we could argue that Pluto did jinx Sweden. So yeah. So I think this is a really good roster. It's very well rounded, and of course, one prominent player stands out, which Lady wants to talk about. So go on, Lady. The floor is yours. Thank you, Claudia. Oh, she said it last night! Yeah, she did! She did do Alan Cummings' catchphrase last night. She did. Yeah, on last episode. Yeah. Well, it was a bit of a surprise episode last night because we all went upside down on last episode. We had a bashment and then the mission. Well, of course, normally it's the other way around. It did kind of feel a bit topsy-turvy last episode. I was still a bit reading from it. And I got the secret traitor right. Well, I think everyone got the secret traitor right. It was too fucking obvious. Yeah. Anyway, so, anywho's, yeah, let's get back on topic. Yep. Okay. Alina Muller. We just knew she was good on this roster. She's one of the standout players for Boston. And she has made her mark in this league. Of course, let's remind people that she was the devil that forced that Game 5 in the inaugural World Cup Finals. Yeah. After all the controversy that unfolded, all the calamity that happened, she then got that game-winning goal in Game 4 that sent this thing right back to Soccer Centre for Game 5, which we didn't want. No. So we know how scary of a player she is. Yeah, she's so brilliant. And we did think, could she be considered a front runner to be... Well, no, she was our pick. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Basically, she was our pick to take over from Harry and I as Boston's captain. Well, we did the protection list back in the summer. We had Harry and I, Aaron Frankel, and Alina Muller on our protection list. Now, 2 out of 3, not bad. Yeah. But we looked at Alina Muller as kind of potentially the future of this team, which kind of being how protection should be. You should be looking at those players being, could these be the future stars of your team? Lock them in. That's what I was thinking. Yes. So, I think us three, we all agreed that it probably should be Alina Muller who should be Boston's captain. Of course, the Fleet went the other way. They went with Megan Keller, and they proved that's the right call. Yeah. Because I think Megan Keller might have been a second pick for us, yeah. But they've proven that they made the right call. And she's been the starting 6 in back-to-back Bombstar, yeah, along with Aaron Frankel. Yeah. So they proved that. So Boston's already proven that they made the right call with going with Keller over Muller as a captain. But I think it's good that Boston had candidates because when you lose, because not lose, they gave her away. Yeah, it's like they gave Seattle Harry on a silver platter. Okay, when you give away somebody like Harry Knight, you now start wondering, well, who's going to be able to take that next step up and be the captain? Who's that going to be? Yeah. Well, I think what's interesting in the PHL are a lot of teams. You do see potential players who could potentially one day be the next captain when the change of the guard happens. Like for us, it easily could be Taya Heisey. For the Sirens, it's going to be Sarah Fillier. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Seattle, it could be Alex Carpenter or Hannah Bilker. Yeah. So, but you don't see that in the NHL. In the NHL, you don't really see that. No. But yeah, so she's a great player. She's really talented, and I think I would not be surprised if she ends up being the star player for Switzerland on this roster. Yeah. Alina Muller is a really great player. She's dangerous to watch in the league. And I think she could potentially... Because obviously you're going to go up against the likes of US, Canada, and Czechia, and Finland in the group. You need to have someone on your team you know can give you that star power. And she does have that. The Sirens representative we're not really that familiar with. No. So we can't really talk much about that. So probably good... So probably it's like, oh, great. But then they've got someone else on the team. Yep. So only two players for the future on Switzerland's roster. Mm-hmm. But I don't. Whereas with other rosters, you think that might be a problem. Mm-hmm. I actually don't think with that with Switzerland because they've actually gone elsewhere. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've really spread the roster out. It's so well rounded. Yeah, it's so well rounded that Ella. What are you two looking at me like that for? Oh, I don't like it. Don't come crying to us if Switzerland gets to the bronze medal match. Don't come crying to us. Because we're not going to let you forget this. Don't come crying to us if Switzerland gets to the bronze medal match, because we will go full on Will and Grace on you. It was Finland they faced in that bronze medal match. Finland. They went up against Finland in the bronze medal match in Beijing. So, yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see how Switzerland plays. Because obviously, let's face it, they've not got the best showing from Prague to recall on. Yeah. So you can't really look at that as experience. Yeah. So, because like I said, they only got one goal in the group stages of last year's World Championships. And then in the knockouts, they didn't really do that well either. And then somehow in the 5th place match, they managed to beat Sweden, the top dog of Group B. Who we all thought was going to get to the semis. Yeah, because me and you, George, when the knockouts were revealed, you and me thought Sweden had a good chance because they were up against Finland. It didn't feel like that. No, it didn't feel like that. No. So it'll be interesting if those two teams get matched up again. Yeah. Brace yourselves! It's Scandinavia be Scandinavia. Although Finland doesn't like to be called Scandinavia. There's always one. There's always one. Normally more than one. Yeah, what do you make of that? Well, I think it'll be interesting to see what happens with Switzerland, because we know they're going to go to the knockouts regardless. Yeah. So remind you, if you haven't already got it in by now, everybody in Group A is automatically through to the knockout stages, and it's the top 3 in Group B who join them. So if you only want to focus on one group during the group stages, I would focus on Group B, because that's going to be where the main competition will be. And then the quarterfinals, that's when we get to get more Group A. So it'll be interesting to see who they get matched with for the knockouts. Because if it is for God's sake, if it is somebody they can beat, then Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. They could beat Germany. Yeah, but they're not going to get matched with Germany, are they? Because Germany's more like going to get matched with us or Canada. But they could get Germany. They could get Germany. And then, yeah. But it's going to be very interesting to see with Switzerland what happens there. Who Switzerland gets in the knockout stage could be very, very interesting. Because Switzerland 4 years ago did manage to go all the way to the bronze medal match. Now we have a couple of countries who haven't been in the tournament last time who are in it this time. But if Switzerland can somehow pull it off, then don't be surprised if they get another medal, because we know they did it. They did it in Sochi, can you remember, lady, if we gave Switzerland any credit in Sochi, or were we just like? I think for Sochi we were too focused on Team USA, because obviously that was your second tournament, women's tournament. Yeah, so I think we were focused more on TSA. I think it was more Pyeongchang. That was when we started looking at as a whole, because by that point you had 8 years under your belt. You were familiar with quite a lot of these players. I was just like, okay, let's go time. Yeah. So it's more 2018. That was when you were more, okay, I'm more informed. I know what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So in 2014, we were just too focused on obviously Team USA. Yeah. But I think I remember Beijing. I don't think many people were expecting Switzerland to have done that well in Beijing. So I think everyone was a bit surprised that they were in the bronze medal match, but we'll go against Finland. I remember Finland was very dominant in that bronze medal match. It just it was exciting. It was an exciting match. I remember the bronze match was more exciting than the gold medal match in Beijing. But I just looked at that and think, yeah, and it's going to be quite tough for Switzerland maybe to try and get scouts against a team like Finland. Yeah. But it was a more thrilling game than the gold medal match. That's what I will say. Yeah. So the fact that this is a very well-rounded roster, I'm pleased for Switzerland. I think this is a really good roster. And I think this just puts people like Pluto in their place. This just puts people like Pluto in a place who don't think Switzerland's going to do very well. They're in the same group as the US and Canada. They're going to get literally... They're going to get spanked. For God's sake! No, now it's what? No, now he's gone too far. What is your obsession with using the word spanking? We do not condone bondage! We condone other sexual acts, but we do not condone bondage! So I don't know why you keep bringing that up. Well, they are going to get truly spanked, let's just face it. They are not going to have a lovely time. They're not. They're just not. Czechia might be the closest game they get, but they're not going to have a lovely time, Milan, according to you. Just saying it now. They're not going to have a lovely time. Yeah, but I think this roster puts people like you in their place, because this is a very well-rounded roster. This could be... Right. Is Switzerland... Right, before we go, I'm going to ask this question. Before we go, if Switzerland was in Group B, would you, and you've now seen this roster, would you think differently? Well, I think they would be more competitive. But, still. I think they would be more competitive. I'll leave it at that. Okay. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I won't ask that, because obviously, you've not been kind to Switzerland for the last few years. So, I just want to ask, is it in a different group? Would you think differently? Well, who knows? Obviously, the groups in the World Championship are supposed to be balanced, right? Yes. Yes. Lady and I will cover that in the spring. But yes, the groups in the World Championships for Denmark are supposed to be more balanced. So, who knows? Switzerland might have a better chance this time round than they have the last two times. But, yeah. But I do like the roster. It's just unfortunately I just can't see how well Switzerland's going to do. I just can't. Fair dues, lady. I'll come back to you, since I know I can rely on you to be civil and fair. I think it's a very interesting roster. I like you, George. I'm very surprised, but also pleased that Switzerland have gone for a very well-rounded roster. And don't be surprised if this team actually causes some damage in Milano, Cortina, because the roster's really good, and especially because Ian Moore's on there. Yeah. I, like you, I'm really pleased with this roster. And I think it's a very exciting roster. It's going to be very interesting to see how this roster gels. It's going to be led by Ian Moore. You just know that now. Yeah. So I'm really excited to see what Switzerland's going to do now that we've got this roster. It's very well rounded. They haven't gone for one particular program to get their prospects. They've gone for a fair mixture of various different programs. So this is going to be a really interesting roster and fascinating to see when we hit the ice in Milan.